Is that possible, Christina?
Oh, give me a few minutes. Just give me a few minutes, okay? When I get in the car, I'll turn the camera on.
Okay. And Ariel, is that possible with you?
Yeah, once I stop somewhere, I'm trying to see what exit I'm gonna get off of. Because I
Okay.
was waiting at a rest area and I just left, actually, so
Okay.
I thought we were not gonna have the meeting.
So, I just want to say the purpose of this meeting is to figure out put some things on the table and try and figure out why we're kind of having this headbutting thing going on here. Um with the Stein campaign in New Jersey. It honestly, from our end, it really doesn't make any sense to us. As we're running a national campaign here, we're getting pulled in many different directions with a lot of state groups. It seems like there have been some accusations made of Kelly over text, which I want to unpack. I want to understand where this is coming from. Statements that were made along the lines of "you are ruining the campaign and you're ruining the Green Party," which I none of us on our end understand where this is coming from. We have had some email conversation that has been tense also. So I kind of feel like we're revisiting the same ground that we did, a month ago, prior to, or not even that long ago. I'm trying to figure out what date it is right now. Um, no, I guess it was a month ago when Jill visited New Jersey. Like threats were made, like if you don't do this thing, we're gonna ruin the campaign. We're gonna go on the attack, on the offensive against you. None of this makes sense from our end. And then, accusations that came in just yesterday that, people are having these kind of feelings about the campaign all over the country. And so I want to set the groundwork again by saying, we're running a national campaign here and we are engaged with, literally hundreds of people weekly for all sorts of purposes all over the country. So I'm not sure what the expectations from the Green Party of New Jersey have been, or the demands. Uh, our sole goal in New Jersey, we were very supportive of you guys being on the ballot here, but obviously there was some frustration on our end that um, it came right down to the wire for New Jersey getting the signatures. We're very glad you did, and we're very glad all of you made it on the ballot. But obviously it was a struggle right down there to the end to push the signatures for Jill over the top. So there's some frustration on our end regarding that.
In addition, the expectation, and I don't know where that would have been set, that we're going to be amplifying people on social media. If there'd been a conversation, it would have been we wouldn't be having this full meeting. There would have been some acknowledgement that maybe that could be a thing for the campaign. But now we're talking about something quite different. We're talking about behaviors and communication that is absolutely unacceptable. Christina, can you please get on camera?
Christina said she was getting to a place where she could do that. She needs to get
Yeah,
out.
I need a few more minutes.
So, I mean, I would just open it up to, anybody to say, what is the foundation of the apparent animosity or distrust of our team on the Stein campaign? Where is this coming from?
Well, okay. Well, I first kind of want to address it.
Actually, can we who's the one who talked? Okay, yeah, Ariel, you're the one who talked about distrust on the Stein. Yeah.
About what? I'm sorry?
Distrust of the Stein campaign. You jumped in the conversation and talked about
but
that.
I wanna like just address what Jason was saying about threats being made. Like the way that you said it is not how it happened. Like, what happened was the New Jersey Green Party was being threatened with having a certain amount of signatures or else Jill won't come. So there was a threat from the Jill Stein campaign before there was
Jill
kind of a
said,
rebuttal.
I don't feel, I was on that conversation. And what Jill said was 526 signatures. I don't feel supported. I don't feel supported by the New Jersey Green Party. And it's not just going to New Jersey. It's a huge lift for this campaign to move Jill and to force all attention onto one place. And that is exactly what we did. And I'm glad to hear that. Hold on, Beau. I'm glad to hear that the event went well. But the communications subsequent and preceding that are totally unacceptable. And if you want to work with a national campaign, you have to provide some grace, just as we did by coming there with 526 signatures.
It's a big expense, you know.
Okay, so I just want to say, for this to work, everyone is going to have to be able to freely speak and no one could get cut off. So Ariel, can you finish what you were saying, please?
Yeah, thank you. So the way that I saw it was, I called Barry and Barry said, Jill's not gonna come. This is 18 hours before the event. I
6
flew
o'clock on
in.
Friday. 6 o'clock on Friday. Events at
I
noon
flew
on
in.
Saturday.
I flew in. Shibu flew in as well with me for this event, you know. And then Barry tells me this. I'm on speaker with Barry because, you know, I just speak on speaker. Beau walks in and he's like, what's going on? Because he hears that Barry's pretty upset. Barry tells him that, and Barry's like, I'm going to go collect signatures right now. And I'm like, I'm in shock. So Beau calls Kelly to ask her, like, hey, is this, what's going on?
I texted Kelly. And I could read the text exactly what I said at that moment.
Well, I just remember that, you know.
I think we've
you were
all
on
read
the
the
phone.
text.
We've
all
all
read
read
the
your
text.
text, Beau.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're all pretty upset about them too.
Okay.
So
I'm pretty upset that I had to send them.
Beau,
anyway,
strong arming is not what you get to do.
Wait a minute. Strong arming is what was done to us when you tell us 18 hours before an event that she's
Okay,
not coming.
we're
If you're
past
upset,
that because Jill showed up for you. Isn't that correct? Jill showed up for
I
you.
don't get to
You're on the
talk.
ballot. You're
All
on the
right.
ballot. That just got turned in.
Guys,
Now you're-
arguing, stop arguing. We need to just let
Christina,
everyone take a
Christina,
turn.
I don't know why you're
Kelly.
here, actually. I don't know why you're here.
I'm here to help facilitate, and I was part of the conversation yesterday.
I told Barry that if he cured cancer, that it wouldn't be good enough for me. Isn't that correct? So let's
That
not play
wasn't
games
all
here.
the words. That wasn't all the words, but we do need to have everyone take a turn because the goal is to find a resolution, and so all of us can get
The
along and work
resolution
together.
is to the abuse that I suffered yesterday and preceding that. That is what is on the table.
And nobody's denying that, but we want to move forward as a unified front. We want to be a team.
You're a
That's
team.
the
I want
goal.
to just,
And
I just
Jason
want to,
and Chris and I are a team.
No, we're
We're-
all a
we're
team.
all a
We're
team.
all one as a Green Party.
or else what are we doing here?
Can
But
I slow
anyway,
it down?
I just
slow
want
it
to,
down a second.
can I just say something quick? Before everyone hits me for these texts that I thought were necessary and still defend, not one of these texts,
Okay, that's
not,
Okay, we've got to stop this because the whole point of this meeting should be centered around Beau's aggression towards Kelly. He's been threatening her. He's been
Threatening?
aggressive. Yes, I've read every text you've sent, Beau. They're threatening, they're aggressive, they're rude, they're entitled. They're so unacceptable, and your team should not be defending you.
well, they
You should
are.
be there apologizing for these
No.
atrocious texts. Yes, that's how we should start this conversation, and then we can find common ground. I'm appalled that your whole team is defending this.
Now, I'm appalled that your whole team treats us like garbage.
No,
Wait.
that's not true.
I thought, wait a second, because we're still arguing. I thought the point of this meeting was for a resolution and to move forward as a
Apparently,
unified.
it's to pile on us, Christina.
I thought it was for y'all to acknowledge the harm that Beau had caused. So I guess I've been misled.
But we can't speak for Beau. Beau can speak for himself.
He's not even allowed to speak for himself. Every time he tries to get started, he gets cut off.
Beau, snarky remarks aren't going to help either.
Okay.
So what is the basis of this meeting? Because words were said, people have been hurt. So what is the goal and end of it? Because we already know everybody's upset right now.
And I never threatened Kelly. Never.
I've read the text, Beau.
So read me the example where I threatened her. Please.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
Please. I mean, apparently the text went everywhere, so I want to know where I threatened Kelly. And while we're at it, I would like to play everybody the voice message that Kelly left me yesterday, because I'm sure nobody heard that.
I just want to say, like, the tit for tat, it's not going to get
Listen,
us
I
anywhere.
just
It's
want
going
to explain. I agree with you, Christina, but I just want to explain my point. And every time I get started, I get cut off.
I hear you, and I hear the frustration in your voice.
What is your point, Beau?
Well, Chris is going to tell me where I sent the threatening text.
You threaten the campaign. When you threaten the campaign,
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
that's
He
what
said
I
I
was
threatened
referring.
you. He
No,
said I
I
threatened you.
Yeah, you directed the threat to Kelly. It was you. I said you were being threatening, and that's exactly what you were doing.
So
And you
can
were
I hear the
belittling,
threatening
and you were
text?
belittling her. You were attacking her. You were threatening towards her, and you were very entitled and assuming that you can just demand Kelly's time, and that she should respond to you. They should respond to you immediately.
Never immediately, but
Yeah,
it
an hour
responds
went by.
once,
Oh, an hour
maybe a
went by.
week.
Well, no,
Maybe.
you responded after Kelly
That was
didn't
yesterday,
respond
Chris. That was
for an
yesterday.
hour.
That was
Wait,
after.
You
wait,
sent
guys,
after Kelly did not respond
That
for
was
an
up.
after
hour.
she ignored me for a
guys,
month.
hey. So back it up. Now, the Jill Stein event on the day of, Beau did apologize to Jill, and Jill they were forgiving. They took pictures together. They seemed to be in good graces with each other. Jill did not verbalize any discomfort. They didn't sit next to each other. We were there supporting Jill. So to my knowledge, that is water under the bridge. And then afterwards, I did speak with Beau, and I said, you also owe Kelly an apology. So anything before the event, Beau has to apologize to Kelly. Well, me and Beau, we did discuss that. Beau's been wanting to apologize to Kelly on that aspect.
okay, I don't, the thing is,
But-
I don't need apologies. I need to run a national campaign. And this is disruptive and bouncing into my day and bouncing into the workflow of this campaign. You're not just bouncing into my day. This is a whole team that I'm connected to. And so when you demand my time, you're demanding the whole campaign's time. You're demanding Jason's time. You're demanding Jill's time. You're demanding Chris's time. And so that kind of entitlement doesn't fly because I can't just fit you in. And you can't just come at me with aggressive communications if you want something. If you want something, you ask for it. You want something, you start a dialogue. But you
I
don't
did
start
that
by attacking
on
me.
July
So-
3rd,
No,
my first.
sorry, well, no, Beau, you didn't. Your communications are super problematic. I guarantee you sat on this and fumed for a while before you reached out to me. Don't do that. Don't do that to me because I'll block you.
Okay, Mom.
Wow. Someone cut this guy off.
Please.
I want to read something from a text here, Beau. Okay. And then go back to prior to us coming to, or Jill going to New Jersey. I want to talk about that. So, I feel I've been accused, this is your writing, I've been accused of using the Green Party to advance my campaign, but I feel that Jill is instead, I don't know where that came from. I mean, you're either a Green Party member or you're not. You're running as a Green or you're not. But I feel that Jill is instead sort of using us for her campaign. Where I don't understand where the notion of using is. The goal of a state party should be to also help get their presidential candidate on the ballot.
I
Right.
agree.
So the the real difference between Jill and us is that we can actually win. Okay. So that's a pretty horrible statement there. And we have talked on the campaign since the start of what it means to actually have a win. Do we think that we can win the White House, or are there other wins along the way? So this idea of winning, we have always been realistic on this campaign about what a win means. If Jill was serious about advancing the party, why isn't she doing that? You know, we have been holding candidate forums since the start. Christina has even been on one of those candidate forums. So if your perspective, Beau, is that if we're not specifically highlighting your race, your specific race, which is what it seems like, there's a whole, like, you know, I'm one of the most important candidacies around. You know, this is not the way to, as Kelly said, this is not the way to have the campaign say, hey, Beau, let's help you out. It's, you know, can we get you on one of our upcoming candidate forums? Not like, hey, drop everything, you need to be promoting us right now. Because as I said, we're running a national campaign. We are dealing with things all over the country. We are traveling with all over the country to deal with this. And I don't understand what the expectations of one state party are when one, Jill's already been there in person to help you guys, and you know that we are working on ballot access like literally all over the country. Like this, there's a you know, there's a real elevated and narcissistic sense of self-importance here coming from New Jersey. And I, you know, from our perspective, we see that. You know, we have been able to work. And then, Ariel, I want to ask, you know, around the country, you know, you made the accusation that people are distrustful of this campaign around the country. I don't understand why. Like, as I said to Christina, like, there's 15 people here, 15 paid people on this campaign running a national campaign, you know. So people reaching out to us and in a very demanding tone, demanding our attention right now, and then making accusations when they don't get that attention right now, like that's huge red flags for us. You know, I don't understand why that is happening. And then dialing it back to prior to Jill's visit, you know, we had a discussion. We had a discussion about New Jersey has had 6 months, 6 months to get a total of 800 good signatures. It is one of the lowest bars in the entire country. And we come up to, you know, a month before, and you guys want Jill to visit, and congratulations for everybody getting your signatures, the 100 signatures that you needed to get on the ballot, right? Congratulations to everybody for doing that. But to come up to this event and not even have the minimum amount when the bar was so low, you know, yeah, that didn't make us feel great. Okay. So we were expecting, and part of the reason is because we had been told over and over again in Rick Lass's communication with Stephen Welzer, with Barry Bender, over and over again for months. Don't worry about it. We've got it. Don't worry about it. We've got it. Don't worry about it. People are on the street. You know, we're collecting those signatures. Well, you know, you didn't. And then you're asking for a huge campaign expense to get Jill and staff out there for your event, which, you know, had it been up to us staff, because there were members of our staff, we'd have probably said no. We've got to do our attention. Jill's got other things she needs to do. If Jill can't be supported enough by the Green Party of New Jersey to get her over the bar a month before and then expect to come out to this event, no, we're not going to do that. It was Jill herself, by the way, who said, no, I should go do this. The downsides after the threats, Jill said, the downsides to not going are worse than the upside to going. Okay. So that's where we are right now. Had it been up to our staff, we would have said, you know what? Let's just go pay people to go get those signatures. That's where we were. You know, because we can't count on the Green Party of New Jersey to do this. That's the position we were put in. Okay. So, you know, this, again, going back to what Ariel said about people all over the country having mistrusted the campaign, I don't know where that's coming from. We have been working literally as hard as we can for everywhere that is, also working with us, trying to work with us.
I'm just going to say right now, the distrust comes from the fact that we're on this call 23 minutes and Ariel, myself and Christina combined have spoken for about a minute. All we're doing is getting dictated to again. When we do open our mouths, we get spoken to like children, which was why I said the comment, "Thanks, Mom." It had nothing to do with anything else, but she was treating me like a child. You know, this is where the distrust comes from. I'm not all over the country. Ariel is. He sees it. That's a question for him, not me. But just in dealing with you guys today, and if you didn't want Jill to come, that's fine. If it was an expense, if she was tired, whatever. You don't tell us
Bo,
that.
don't,
18
don't,
out.
I'm
See, and
sorry.
here we go. Okay.
Wait,
Kelly,
wait,
let
let
Bo,
Bo,
please,
let Bo
please
finish. Let Bo
let Bo
finish.
have his say, please.
Hang himself, it's fine. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
It's patent
you
lies,
wonder where the
and I don't
distrust
know
comes
why
from.
we should be sitting through them.
Kelly, you're interrupting again.
Should we just sit there and quiet while he's saying untruths?
What untruths, Kelly? You told us 18 hours before the event that you weren't coming, an event that we worked hard to plan,
Doesn't
an
matter.
event that we looked forward to, an event that was going to launch a full slate of candidates, the only state to do that in the country to support
Okay.
Jill. And 18
Jill
hours
said
before that,
that. Yep.
the only communication we get from National is that we're not coming because you haven't been good little boys and girls and gotten the signatures we want, which you could have told us Monday if you needed the signatures, we would have went out and got them during the week. My point was, if you're going to treat us like this, I love Jill Stein. This is a woman I've supported for 12 years. I can't tell you how disheartened I am and how just disgusted I am that this is my hero and this is how her staff treats us. I mean, come on, man. Give us some time. You don't threaten us first by telling us she's not coming after we've put the word out to press, our families. This is going to be a big event. We've worked hard to put this together. 18 hours before it comes, you're like, not coming unless you get 700 more signatures in the next few hours. I mean, that's not how you treat a whole slate of candidates. Give us a week's notice at least, then we would have been upset, but we would have understood. Telling us that 18 days before, what options did we have but to say, listen, if this is how you're going to treat us, then we're going to unify ourselves and tell you that if you don't come, you're going to have a story where a state party doesn't endorse its presidential candidate. And we would have been justified in doing that the way we got treated. And there's not one person on this call from Jersey and a ton of people back that aren't on this call that would disagree with me on that. So,
All right, that's on the table then. Ariel, what is it around the country that has been a problem in your opinion?
Well, it's not my opinion. First of all, it's not an accusation. It's stuff that I've heard around the country, and I've defended you guys every step of the way. But then I just hear people constantly complaining about the campaign, saying that you have an attitude, saying that Kelly flips out on them all the time. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. The one person that I could say, because you guys don't really know this person, but Jill Ferguson was like the very last kind of straw with me with Kelly. She's running for governor in 2 years, and she was doing this speech where she had this prompt where she's making fun of Joe Biden and Governor Evers. And this guy in the event thought that she had a Make America Great Again poster because it looked like it, but it wasn't. So this guy starts yelling at her. And then apparently I wasn't there, but I was told this after the event. Kelly comes and starts yelling at her as well. And she was like, I'm trying to explain myself, and she wouldn't let me explain myself. And I could see that right now in this call, And this is what I've heard about Kelly throughout. And I'm like, no, she's a very nice person, this and that, But Kelly's not responsive to me either. I've been more patient than Beau. Beau has offered, I think Beau contacted her 2 months ago to talk. She never responds.
never.
I mean, it could go on and on, you know what I mean? And then the threat came that, if we don't have these signatures 18 hours before the event, that she's not coming. So it's like you guys are being
do
hypocritical
that
right
to
now,
us?
saying that oh, how could you threaten us? But you just did it. You just did that. Like, or Jill just did that. It doesn't matter who did it. Even if it was Jill, that's worse actually. Like
The
that makes me
first
lose
threat came
respect
from
for
the
her, actually.
campaign.
Well, no, but they're typing that like it was Jill. It came directly from Jill. That makes it worse, you guys. Like that makes it worse. That makes me feel like she was my hero too,
Do
and
I
now
get
I'm
to,
disgusted.
do I
Well,
get to
well, can I finish, Kelly? You're doing it again, and I just gave you an example of somebody that you didn't even know that told me how you interrupt, and you're doing it right now.
I do know
But
that.
you know what? Go ahead, because I'm
I-
getting really frustrated, and I'm probably gonna say something that I'm gonna regret. So I'm just gonna be quiet now.
You know what? Chris has his hand up. Chris, why don't you talk next?
So yeah, I think one thing that is getting lost here is just like how challenging this campaign is and how like impossible it is like to keep up with anything. We all feel like we're drowning constantly. We're all working somewhere between 16 and 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like inhumane. It's impossible to keep up with. We have thousands of messages that we can't respond to. We're all like super overwhelmed, and we feel like the expectations from people that we respond, that we get, that we don't miss any messages, that we respond within an hour. Like it's just impossible. It's impossible, and you have no idea what it's like to try to keep up with this if you're sitting here kind of like expressing frustrations that we don't respond to every message that comes through. And the situation with the sign that you just brought up, Ariel, it's a very loaded thing. And I think that we could actually have a dialogue about that when we're all a little calmer. But there's so much that it sounds like was not told to you about that. And there are some serious problems with that situation. And Kelly actually did fantastic job defending the event and protecting it from people who were trying to disrupt the event.
She wasn't trying to disrupt the event. I know Jill myself.
I just
Jill
need
Ferguson,
30 seconds.
I know Jill Ferguson myself, and I've seen her prop. I actually told her that she should bring those props because it was funny props. It had nothing to do with Make America Great Again. Had to do with.
Sorry.
But that's what she was getting yelled about because they thought that that's what it was.
Well, no, 1 second. Clarify. It was not Make America Great Again that they thought it was. Just so you know, no one thought that it was Make America Great Again on our end.
Okay, were you there?
No, I'm Kelly's partner, though. I know, like, I have been informed of everything.
I was there. I remember talking to Kelly outside, and I saw the sign, and I'm like, that's weird that that's there. And then after the event, Jill called me really frustrated, and like this aligns with other stories that I've been told.
Yeah, not America.
You weren't there, Ariel. I was there, and my friend Kwame was there, and Al Musa was there. These are my comrades, and they can inform you about
We're all your comrades, Kelly. We're supposed to be.
What was it that was so
acting like my comrade, Beau?
Kelly,
You're acting
Kelly
like
was,
an aggressor.
Kelly was talking.
But what was so offensive about the sign?
Can we talk about, as I suggested, maybe we discuss that at another time?
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying. Go ahead,
I want to just get back to the nuts and bolts of this because we're still at the beginning and nobody's telling me that it was wrong for the campaign. The only thing that they said to us prior to the big event that we were all excited for at 6 o'clock on Friday night was that, hey, we found out you don't have a lot of signatures, so we're not coming. I need someone to defend that because I haven't heard that yet.
And we went because of my confidence, not in you, but in some other people on your team to keep me informed.
I mean,
I'm
be
sorry,
fair.
I'm speaking now, right?
Wait, Beau, let her speak.
Why would Jill come? There are 9 days left to collect signatures. 9 days left to turn in, and we had 526 signatures. That's a fact. And instead of collecting signatures or putting on an event and expecting this entire national campaign to go to New Jersey to support it, we did the event, And you just turned in the signatures. What was it, last Monday?
Yeah, the day that they were due.
Okay.
So
I haven't
again,
heard
you
anything
know,
about
Bo,
expectations from
you
the
said
campaign.
you needed us to defend our statement. So we have given the defense, right? You guys have been petitioning since January. You all got yourselves on the ballot. Very few people decided that they were going to collect signatures for Jill Stein along with themselves. Very few people did. I know some of the candidates did none of that work at all. And we were down to 9 days prior.
Shoot.
Right? We were down to, was it July that we came out there? July 20th? Is that right?
Yeah, whatever the day.
That's
I don't
right.
remember the date.
That's right.
But
It was July 20th.
But it was July,
July
right?
28th.
Not June. Okay. And so we got down to 9 days before signatures were ready to be turned in, and you had a third of what we have been told for months, don't worry about. So yeah, we did not feel supported by New Jersey. And that was our response.
Well, to be
That was our
fair,
response.
most of the Green 13 were not aware of those conversations that were occurring. Nobody knew that there was behind the scenes people promising signatures. Nobody knew that. We
You
just knew
thought
that Jill was.
Jill would come? That you
We
just
just
thought
Kelly,
she
knew,
would come
let him
within a-
finish. Kelly, let him finish.
we were
I'm
just aware that Jill was coming on a Saturday, and we had a big event, and John set up a big event. So we invited press, we invited our families, we invited everyone to come. And then Friday at 6 o'clock, 18 hours before the kickoff of the event, we were told that we didn't do a good enough job getting signatures, so Jill's not coming. And I just want to make a point on the expense of this. It was Jill and one other woman who took a train ride from Massachusetts to get here. She's 3 hours away from us. I really don't believe it was such a big expense for her to come here.
Wow. Wow.
Okay,
You-
so
It is.
before
It truly is.
this continues to
It's-
escalate, I just want to
Hold on one
say
second. I'd like to hear from my teammate, Jason. What do you think about Beau's statement about it's just 3 hours?
Yeah, so
Jill's been
it's
on
not,
the road for how long?
it is a presidential candidate's time that they can be making fundraising calls,
Mhm.
that they can be, doing other communications to support the campaign. So it's not just, it's an entire day. It's an entire day of a presidential candidate taking to do other things that they need to do to support the campaign.
I'm not arguing
Or,
that.
huh?
I'm
Okay.
not arguing that.
Well, that's the expense.
But I am arguing it's not like we pulled her here from LA. It's Massachusetts. It's a little bit down the road. And to be fair, again, nobody's really, I mean, you're justifying holding our feet to the fire 18 hours before the event instead of just telling us the Monday prior that we needed to get more signatures, or even the
We
Wednesday
had been
prior.
told, understand, Bo, that we had been told in the lead up to this and very recently, like in the weeks before, don't worry about it, we've got it. Don't worry about it, we've got it. In fact, Christina told me in phone conversation that, yeah, we're looking to do a big, here are all our signatures events, like the day after, like the 21st. So for us to go there, or for us to find out, 24 hours prior that you weren't even close to what we were being told you would have, when we expected it to be pretty much wrapped up prior to Jill being there. That's what we had been told by Barry, by Steve, and honestly, Christina had said that also. And I know Christina has worked hard at doing this, and it shouldn't be all on her shoulders. That's not what I'm saying here, but we were told the signatures would be there and it would be great. And it's too bad Jill won't be there on the 21st, because we wanted to show her all the signatures on the 21st. So we were being led to believe, all the way up to this, that yeah, we've got this in hand. And it turns out it was not at all.
And again, though, most of the Green 13 had no idea about that backstory.
Oh, wait, no, I do want to say it was because Steve was sending out emails. And that was a part of a few different meetings and discussions. So I just want to say it was supposed to be actually on the 20th. Steve and wanted to present the signatures to Jill in person on the 20th, at least have a minimum of 800 to present to her. So I do get both sides to the argument, because granted, I've also shared my frustration. Beau, you were not part of the Green Party of New Jersey in January, and this part has nothing to do with you, and neither with you, Ariel, because you weren't part of it in January. But there was a frustration because in January I was ready to collect signatures. Again, I was very new and I did need some training. The people who were part of the committee at that time did push me off and did tell me, like, I bought a bulk of hand warmers and shoe warmers. Like, I was ready to go out in winter, but I was like, you know, you're new, you're nervous, you don't really know the proper decorum to collect signatures. And I do agree that we should have been out in January collecting signatures. But I was told to wait until May when the weather was warmer. Nobody wanted to collect with me. And again, Beau and Ariel, neither of you guys were part of this time frame at all. And that was very, very frustrating for me, because I was sitting there and there were a lot of events where I could have collected hundreds of signatures. And it's not about it being on me, but it's like I had the availability. It would have been much easier for me in the wintertime. It just would have been, it would have just made my life easier and probably national if we could have collected in the wintertime, but we didn't. And then we were under the assumption, and not the assumption, we all agreed, Steve did put it in the email, all 13 candidates would collect a minimum of 100 signatures, and everything else above 100 would be extra. So then we would all have a total of 1,300 signatures. And then unfortunately, and this isn't you, Beau, because you collected, and same with you, Ariel, there were some candidates that did not actually collect the 100 signatures, and it was very frustrating because at one point I was told to back off from GPNJ and stop asking so many questions, and if I didn't ask those questions, then I wouldn't have realized what a bad spot we were in. So this signature thing does not fall on, again, you, Beau, or Ariel. This falls on GPNJ as a whole, and there was no, Barry was being dismissed a lot, I was being dismissed a lot, Steve was being dismissed a lot. So I actually don't know. They won't tell me the names because I think there should be a conversation with the people who did not collect. Not like, you know, berating them or putting them down. I think there should be a conversation. And I did talk to Barry about, you know, next cycle, and saying, like, we really need to start picking candidates that are, you know, willing to collect signatures, and not candidates like, because I went into, when I started the transition to Green Party, I went into it building an entire state party, and everyone's very aware of it. I want to build a very strong unified front, and I want New Jersey to be the thing, the state that flips green. Because that's just my personal thing. Again, this was before you guys joined, because you guys joined later on down the road. But there was a lot of frustration. Do 18 hours before the event, I don't agree with canceling an event either, because that puts GPNJ and the supporters in a very bad situation. And that event, when I learned everything, when everything came to light, that event was to motivate more people to come collect petitions. And if it meant I had to go out every day in between both jobs, that's what it meant at the end of the day. But Jill was getting on the ballot because failure was not an option. That would have destroyed my vision for Green Party. And I do know there has been, even getting on here, there has been a very big disconnect between national and state. And it's not just the state, that's what I've been hearing a lot. And I want New Jersey to be what mends the national and state communication. And I'd like New Jersey to be the blueprint across all 50 states, because we do have a lot of passionate people. We do have a lot of hard workers. we can flip this country green. But if we're divided, there's no flipping. We're going to keep the infighting. And so the frustration, I think, is at a larger part. I just think we're displacing our frustration and just taking it out on individual people. But we just need to understand that it's not one person's fault. Everyone's frustration is 100% valid. And I'm still frustrated. And again, it's not Beau's or Ariel's fault. I'm still frustrated with GPNJ because you had people who are willing to collect in, like, on April 1st, there was this one protest I went to, and that's the protest I wound up getting injured at. The amount of people there, I could have easily gotten 200 to 300 signatures at that one protest. And it could have just been by myself. And that was another one where I was, I remember that communication. Again, this was, I think you just were starting to transition, Beau, and Ariel, you weren't in New Jersey. That was one protest I was communicating. I was like, because I was just leaving. I don't know if I was leaving I think I had to reschedule my second job or something, because I was pushing to get someone to go. I'm like, can somebody go to this one? The weather's not that bad. We can start collecting signatures. And everyone said no. And I go and I literally, it's this huge thing. And I got injured so fast because I just kept overexerting myself and pushing myself. And then I had to get picked up and driven home. And I'm just like, that was another 200-300 signatures gone. And I still didn't know how to ask for signatures. And I was still nervous asking for signatures. So that's where my frustration comes in. But Jill did come, Beau did apologize, and Jill did forgive Beau, and we should have had the signatures, but that's a whole organizational issue. That's not a Beau issue, and that's not a Christina issue, and that's not an Ariel issue. Canceling the event.
So if I can, because Chris and Kelly and I have got to get to our morning staff meeting. And you know, I think the reason we're having this meeting here is, again, accusations made against the campaign that people are unhappy with us across the country. Those are going to be the pitfalls of running a national campaign when you are underfunded and understaffed, because people are not going to get the responses that they want all the time when they want them. The other problem here is, and I just want to highlight this, Beau, your communication style with Kelly, the things that you have said to Kelly personally have been unacceptable. Really unacceptable. They have been aggressive and quite frankly bullying. You're, saying to Kelly things like, you're the reason this can't, you're gonna ruin the campaign and you're ruining the Green Party.
I never said that.
I've got it.
I said that you're ruining Jill's campaign and in the process ruining Jill's reputation. I said nothing about ruining.
Okay. Sorry.
You're splitting hairs, Beau.
You're ruining Jill's campaign and ruining Jill's reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just gonna stand by that.
I am.
Okay. So I'm gonna end this meeting right now. Okay.
I haven't really gotten to say anything yet.
No, we're done with talking with Beau and the Green Party. We're cutting our ties. If you think that communication is acceptable, Beau, we can't be communicating.
If you think strong arming us 18 hours before an event we've built up for a month is okay, then you can leave me where you found me. No problem.
Okay. All right. Have a good morning, everybody.